All right, we're live, I think. Let's see if this broadcaster is actually coming through here. One second, guys. Let's see if the stream is coming through. Is it coming through? Let's see if this. Okay, good. Yeah, awesome. So it is coming through. Great stuff. Yeah, a little weird stuff with my broadcaster here today coming through YouTube because that blonde broker. What's going on? Okay, good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. Let me get this tweeted out so everybody else can get joined in here. One second, and we'll take a look at it. Good. There and here. All right, awesome. Good stuff. Yeah, so sorry a little bit late here this evening. Again, was having a little bit of issues with the broadcaster. It was like wasn't pushing through. It was getting really kind of buggy, and so but it seems to be working now, which is great. So good stuff. All right. Well, I hope everybody had an awesome trading day today. And so today we're going to be continuing our conversation on day trading pitchforks, and today we're going to be talking about on the intraday time frame. So really cool stuff there. So before we get started, of course, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. All right. Awesome. Good. All right. Well, first we're going to take a look and see where we left off in the market today, and then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what they're up to or down to this evening, and then we'll take a look at the topic, and then we'll go through questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right. So SPX up 40 points today. A lot of it had to do with the gap up, right, from overnight. Futures were super strong overnight, and gave us some kind of interesting price action, a little bit of gap and go, and then some choppy type action, but it is what it is. Gave us some opportunities throughout the day, so that's good. Weekly chart, guys. So cool stuff, right? Remember, we held this resistance level. We pushed above that with this big green candle, right? Projecting to move up. We got this doji sandwich look to it, and we were actually getting a little follow through from that doji sandwich here. And we hit fresh all-time highs today on the SPX. So everything is awesome, right? So the wave count looking pretty good, right? So we had this nice ABC move. And blonde broker, right? So we had the impulsive move up right here. It was looking like an A, possible B, maybe a C move down. But then we had this this potential bullish count right here, right? Which gave us kind of this ABC, a really short move right here for a wave 2, and then a 1-2-1-2 off of the top of the corrective channel. Once we broke out of that corrective channel, right, that changes things. Had this double pause day, and then had this crazy move that was like, what's going on right here? And then they bought the dip, right, and held the ADMA. We got that follow through into today to get to all-time highs. So really cool stuff there. We were expecting all-time highs after the gap up today. It was just how they were going to do it and how they were going to get there. So let's take a look at the price action and see how they did it here today. Actually, really cool stuff here. I tweeted this out earlier on SPX. We're at the top of the pitchfork. So this is actually a very, very major level here of interest, right? So I thought that was really appropriate going into today. So potential resistance and upper shadow off the top of the pitchfork could be interesting. We'll definitely see how it holds the upper trend line if it does decide to pull back. But either way, we got that gap up this morning right here, right? Really nice move over the prior day's highs too, which is good. And the first theory, anytime that happens, is look for a gap fade. But when you had that strong move up, right, the projected move up here over the 15 orb gave a nice move, gave that kind of long triangle type move, really, really choppy, boring action, right? And then they give a little bit of a grindy pop out of there, and then we caught that nice short to get back to the 15 orb high. So that was a nice move right there. I mean, even though we're working our way up, it just doesn't feel right? So it's kind of one of the things with this. It's like Powell was talking this morning. He's like, guys, small businesses, jobs, issues, the economy, and so he's talking around 10 o'clock. So we got a little irritable Powell syndrome in there, right? And then Yellen was talking later today, right? The Secretary of Treasury elect, and she's talking like America needs to get back again, the economy needs to get. I'm thinking to myself, like, guys, we're at all-time highs, and then as soon as that has kind of worked its way down there. So pretty interesting stuff, with the news and with the Fed folks and Treasury folks talking today. So we had that going on. Here's the levels that we provide to our members before each market opens. So you can see how well we held. Obviously, we had the prior all-time high that held really nicely, and it's nice that we have these levels. Look at that, got really close to this R. Okay, let's see if that's coming through. Am I back on here? Let's see if this is coming through here. 1 second. I think I'm back on now. Let's see if that's coming through. Am I back? Sorry if I lost you guys. You guys can hear? Okay, cool. Sorry, I don't know what happened. I use XSplit, and usually don't. I'm well, not usually. I mean, usually we don't have any issues with it. Occasionally we do. So, but hey, it's free. So there you go. free YouTube live. Anyway, so good stuff right there. So, hopefully you caught most of that right there. But again, we talked about irritable bowel syndrome and all that good stuff, and the levels playing out pretty well today. Read. Okay, good. All right. So let's get to the topic, and we'll try to. Well, hopefully we'll get through this. So that it seems it's before it was like really just kind of bouncing around. It seems okay now. So anyway, today, guys, we're going to be talking about day trading pitchforks, and we're going to talk about intraday. Okay, so yesterday we showed some really cool stuff with the pitchforks. Right, this is Alan Andrews' tool developed. So many great tools were developed right after the in the pre-1950s. Right, there's so much good stuff that's still valid today. That's one of the things I love about this stuff. So really powerful stuff. So one of the things that we can do is with these pitchforks, we can use them intraday. So we talked about yesterday, right? We drew a pitchfork on the daily chart, right? What you do is you go to a major pivot, right? You find another major pivot, right? Obviously the Corona crash was huge, and then you draw them together, and it gives you this. It pre-creates a channel, which is really cool, and it just geometrically works out. I mean, this guy was Alan Andrews was a mathematician. He was like a math and physics professor. So I mean, this guy knew what he was doing. But anyway, really cool stuff. You can see this level was resistance prior, right? We worked our way back down. We got back up to kind of here, worked our way down. Now we're up to it again, right? So we want to see how this holds and see if we can get above it. But the cool thing is that we can use, not only can we use this, but we can use this for targets on intraday. So that was one of the things I tried to mention yesterday. If we take a look at the stock work, okay, so this gave a pretty good move up, right, recently. But one of the things that we can look at is it can help us when we get some big news events on the intraday timeframes. This can help us project moves to see where things are going, right, where we might be going on the intraday timeframe, right? So one of the things that we can do is here on the daily chart is, we can just kind of it doesn't have to be, any particular distance, right? But one of the areas right here, once we saw that news was coming out that day, right, and we started to push through this pitchfork level, it gives us a major area when things are going crazy of where things might end up, kind of pausing out, right? And you can see right here, once we broke through those levels, that's exactly where we stopped, right at the pitchfork median line. So very cool stuff and powerful stuff that you can use off of the daily chart to look at on an intraday, right? So you can see here, if we just kind of zoom out on that big day to the upside, right here, once that news came out, it's like, well, where's this thing going? When's it going to end? Obviously, Fibonacci's are awesome, but this is such a great tool because look at that, it brought us right to the pitchfork median line. It gives a great move. I've used these before shorting one of my favorite stocks to short, Johnson & Johnson, right? So this is a couple years ago, but I had these a great pitchfork on it, and once their news came out, I mean, it was just flushing on the daily chart and took us all the way to the bottom of the pitchfork. I was like, this thing's going to go to the bottom of the pitchfork. So it can give you a lot of great moves like that. But another thing that we can use it for is also on the intraday time frame, right? So if we go and we look at, just for instance, SPY, and we go to the SPY on the 1 minute chart, right? We can also use it intraday. Now, it's a little bit trickier to use intraday, just like trend lines are a little bit trickier intraday, right? There's a kind of a little more finicky price action that goes on, but it can give us some very interesting clues into, after some big price action of where things may or may not be heading, right? So you can see if you just kind of draw it randomly, right, from here to here, it doesn't always, you have to get a skill at it, right? And this doesn't make any sense, right? So, I mean, it's like, we're going to go to infinity, right? You look for levels that make sense, and one of the cool ways to draw pitchforks, one of the big techniques is if you can get the pitchfork median line to match up with other levels, right? So here, right, this is not, it's not really working, right? So what we like to do is we try to find an area where that pitchfork median line is aligning with other areas, right, with other areas of interest. So one of the levels that we could look at right here is, for instance, here, right, to the start of this pivot, right, and then here. And then, and that gives us a nice move, right? We want to look, where, the median line was finding other areas of resistance. You can see here, it kind of worked as resistance right here, but very nice stuff here. I mean, obviously really choppy price action intraday, but you can see once we got to the pitchfork right here, look where we found resistance, right at the median line right here before it worked its way down into the end of the day, right? So that's on the intraday time frame. It doesn't give you necessarily as many pivots to work with, but it can give some pretty cool areas, right? So I mean, for instance, like here, that's going to give a pretty good projected move up. But once you can see that this starts aligning, right, that like here there was a resistance level here at the median line. Now we can start to trade within that channel, right? And you can see that ended up playing out really well, and then eventually found resistance up here, right? And then worked its way down, retested the bottom of the pitchfork line before it worked its way down. So it can be used intraday, which is very, very cool. Another thing that you can do is you can go to a larger time frame and just kind of take a look at say like the I'm just going to scroll over here to the 15-minute chart. You can go over here to the 15-minute chart and say like a stock like Netflix, right? And you don't have to use it just today. Right, so for instance, right, so we had a really nice move up here on Netflix today. This can help, right? We saw this is one that we pointed out on the live stream this morning on Netflix, and we're like, okay, this thing's working its way up, right, and doing really good. And we did point that out for some relative strength. But one thing we can do is, you can see how quick it is to draw these lines. It does not take long at all. You zoom out a little bit, look for some major pivots that make sense, right, and you can see here. Look what happened, right? Off of that opening drive on Netflix today, look where it ended up kind of pausing out, right at the top of the pitchfork, right? So this is a great tool to use. I know Senior was on here yesterday. He was asking about, how these align with Fibonacci's, and they can align with Fibonacci's, but sometimes these channels, these pitchfork channels, can give you great levels of interest where things could be kind of running out of steam. And you can see that was a great target level right here on Netflix today, just coming up to those levels. And that's going back 1, 2, 3 days, but finding a couple major pivots here off of the 15-minute chart. And once we saw that relative strength at the open, right, you can see here, just off of that first 5-minute candle, a lot of strength at the open. Okay, well, where's this thing going to end? Well, the 15 orb hasn't ended yet, right? We had to wait 15 minutes for that. But this next candle gave a really nice drive up to the top of that pitchfork level. And then once it got there, it just kind of, stalled out a little bit, right? So you can see it held here is, a little bit of support later. But it can help give us some potential targets. So those are some really good techniques for using pitchforks intraday. Like I said, one of the great tools to use it if you're having trouble drawing pitchforks, for instance, on the daily chart. One of the things that you can do is, like I said, is if you're starting to draw these things and they're going up into outer space, right? One of the things you can do is, like I said, just one technique to take away is use that median line and try to line it up with other areas of support and resistance, right? So it's just kind of an area right here. Like this actually works pretty nicely right here. So you can see off of these levels, see how the median line served as support and resistance, right? Right at this level, and then it projected a move up to the top of the pitchfork, came back down again, right, worked its way back to the top of the pitchfork, and eventually broke out of it. So using that median line to line up with other areas of interest really can make it easier to draw it if you're having trouble drawing them, and they're getting wacky and going all over the place. So otherwise, you get pretty good at it, pretty quickly. So anyway, very, very powerful tool, and that's a great way to use it intraday. One, using it off the daily chart, especially on big news, using it intraday to look for areas of interest and also try to find some channels that might be working their way up. So good stuff. All right. Well, hopefully you guys found that helpful. And at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff there. All right. So so Shirley didn't send any in tonight, so hopefully she's doing well. Again, guys, thanks for keeping her thoughts and prayers as she's getting better all the time. But Blan Broca gave us a few right here, so we're going to be really, really nice on these ones. So let's take a look at Amazon, right? So one of the things I tweeted out a little bit earlier was Amazon, right? What's it doing here with its geometric channels, right? Well, right now Amazon's kind of hanging out in this crazy triangle, right? So you have this A down move, B, C, and now we're getting really tight. We're like a triangle within the triangle. So this geometric line is really important for Amazon to get above. It gave a good push off of yesterday's outside day. Just couldn't quite get over it, but it doesn't mean it's not going to try to work its way over it tomorrow. I think that was pretty reasonably positive on it, right? So and it was a green candle today with some good volume. So again, let's see if it can try to work its way up and get over the daily cloud. Wow, I got a lot of lines on that one, some Fibonacci's and stuff. So different case studies throughout the day. So good stuff there. And another one, Nvidia. So again, I'm overall bullish on Nvidia. I really think this thing is going to break out here one of these days. We just got to wait for it, right? So here was the most recent geometric level right here. We got a nice outside day yesterday. We got a good gap up today, so that was good, and it gave some good intraday price action, right? So, it gave this beautiful inside 15 at the 15 orb low for a quick pop to the upside. The only issue is they didn't drive it, right? So there wasn't a lot of institutional money getting in this thing yet. I think it's going to go one of these days. We just need to get that volume coming in there. Maybe they're waiting until after X dividend, but we're just going to continue to monitor this one for this thing to give a good breakout. So that should be definitely one on the radar. So good stuff there. ZEK, what's going on? Let's take a look at Intel. Again, a lot of strength in the semiconductors recently, right? AMD's was strong yesterday, Intel strong, and Cisco was strong today, and Intel was strong today. So nice gap up there over the 50-day moving average for a good push to the upside, right? So one of the cool things right here, right, with Intel over these levels, right? If we take a look, just at our trend lines, right? Here's your geometric levels right here. We got a great breakout candle right here. Do we chase those? No, we wait for a pause day, right? We got this double pause there right here, and then it started to go, right? So a nice move there on Intel. ACB. Again, these pot stocks, they'll let you down. They'll leave you high and dry. So you got to move right there, and then a quick flush to the downside there today on the ACB. A couple of these names were a little bit rough, but again, they're tough ones to swing. But sometimes you can catch some momentum on them. XNet, interesting, big push to the upside, and a big upper shadow off of that one off the 2-day moving average. So let's see how that holds going forward on that one. The Nest, what's going on? Apple, yes. So Apple, guys, a lot of focus on Apple today. It was actually a really weird day today, right? So like the financials weren't that good, the IWM wasn't that good. I mean, the whole market wasn't really participating in this all-time high rally, but big names, right? Our big names, the highest weighted names on the S&P, Apple, Amazon, right? A lot of these names gave some big push. Google gave some big pushes today, and Apple is, finally really showing a breakout candle over this geometric line right now. So this is really technically the first day that it's attempting a breakout. It's below its macro geometric line right here, or macro trend line right here. So let's see how that holds. But in the meantime, let's look for some continued strength on it if they can try to keep pushing it, right? So let's see if we get a pause day or maybe a gap up on strength tomorrow. Let's see what they have in store for the rest of the night with these futures. Not looking good right there. So I just looked at a big red candle on the future. So, but anyway, NCR, yeah, still grinding its way up right here. Again, big uptrend right there. It broke out of that what looked like a rising wedge earlier that we talked about. So nice move there. And Shop. Shop was great, right? So it gave you a breakout candle, it gave you your pause day, it gave you your move up, right? So I mean, nobody's gonna complain about a 59-point day, right? But today, right, gave you a big inside day, so it was a little bit tough there. But it could just kind of be pausing there. Let's see if it breaks out of those inside day highs or lows on that one. Let's take a look at GoGo. Again, GoGo. Looking okay here, upper shadow. It just hasn't given us any real breakout candles yet. So at this point, that's kind of your geo line. Then you got this, right? So a little bit of issues on that one, but we'll see how it goes on there. Rocky, what's going on? Bank of America had some relative strength this morning for sure, and then the XLF kind of pulled back a little bit there later into the end of the day, but it did have some nice strength at the open, right? So it gave you this big candle right here, a couple pause days, and then just kind of blah. But that's the banks for you, right? I mean, so a little bit of caution of that one, kind of a little shooting star candle might kind of work its way back down to the 80 MA if it decides to stay weak there. PFE, this was a great trade opportunity yesterday. Good move, gave us an awesome trade at the open, then pulled back a little bit, and then today gave you a gap up with the California vaccine news. Kind of a doji day. Let's see if it turns into a doji sandwich, works its way up. Let's take a look at Baba. Boeing. So Baba again still back at this prior support level right here, just trying to hang on to it. Possible hanging man on that, so a little caution off of that one. Zyme, let's take a look. ZYME. Wow, this thing continues to work its way up. Great find on that one. Again, lots of strength there. Big upper shadow on it, but let's see if it can continue to plow its way up. ATVI, the gaming stocks, right? That geometric line, key one for it to get over. I'd like to see it get over that with some volume and over the cloud. Tesla with an inside day today, right? So let's get this thing pulled up right here. Inside day again. Really, I mean, big thing with Tesla, right? Triangle breakout. I mean, this alone is incredible, right? So at this point here, maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe it could be kind of working on a wave 4. See how it handles the inside day high on that one if you can make a move on that. Mike, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in and for your patience. Let's take a look at Boeing here. So Boeing's, I mean, it's got to do it, right? It's got to if it wants to. Because here's your big breakout right here, big move up right here's your kind of your wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we just need to see if it wants to stay impulsive off of that one. I mean, at this point though, I'd like to see it try to confirm over that geometric line to see if it wants to get going here. Otherwise, it might come back and retest the ADMA. So we'll see where we go from there. Tracy, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. CRM with earnings tonight. The CRM got creamed tonight. Inside day today. And then a little bit rough after hours right there. They actually had a good beat on earnings, right? I think they beat on earnings and revenue. And then they announced that they're going to spend $27 billion on work. So that's going to weigh pretty heavy on any company. So we'll see how it goes and if they try to buy the dip on this one. So, but again, pretty interesting there. Zumba. Let's take a look at Zumba here again. Zoom with earnings today, right? So one of the big levels was the after hours low, right? So that was a really important area right there. Once we flushed through there, right? It was just general weakness. Then we lost the 15 orb, and I think I tweeted this out publicly today that it was losing that, and then we lost the cloud here too. So looking a little bit sketchy there, but we're still holding that geometric level too. So see if that turns into a bear flag or not. And again, key level if we want to see it break down is below those levels there, and then we'll treat it basically like an inverse long. So good stuff there. And then mRNA, again, just beautiful stuff, guys. This is a classic breakout pattern right here. Broke out of the geometric line, strong volume next, gapped up over it, right, with some strength. That's a good swing right into the next day. And then you got the huge gap up today, and then a nasty pullback, right? So members actually shorted this today for an incredible move to the downside. So bearish engulfing candle. So we'll keep an eye on it, see how it holds off of that one. And then UNH. UNH had some relative strength at the open this morning. I know one of our members pointed that out today. It's a tough one to trade, right? Options can be all over the place, and then it gave that nasty shooting star, but good strength at the open, and then they just gave it up. So pretty rough right there off of that shooting star. See if that pulls back a little bit on that too. So good stuff there. Yeah, we'll keep those on the bearish radar. I like it. Art, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in and for your support. I really appreciate it. Let's take a look at Docu. Yep, so Docu with a just struggling in here, right? So this is a kind of a tricky area, right? Another doji off of the cloud and then back down. We got earnings coming up this week, so let's just see what it has in store for earnings, right? Earnings can go either way or stay flat, right? So, right, Reed? So, up, down, or stay the same. So, let's see what it does after that, and then see if we can get some direction after there. And then PayPal, great stuff today. We tweeted this out publicly yesterday on those 220 calls, and they got in the money today for a nice move. Could be a potential pause candle today. PayPal's is a tricky name to trade, but it is generally working its way up. So we'll see where it goes from there. Good stuff. Awesome. I really appreciate everybody's patience. Wow, what's going on? So we need to talk about NEO. Yeah, let's talk about it. So what are their futures since they might get delisted and the House passes the bill? Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that could weigh heavy on it. And guys, we've been talking about NEO all the way up, that eventually this thing is going to tumble. Right, and it did, right? I mean, it already looks like it's starting right now, right? So we're under the ADMA right now. We lost the original geometric line right here, and it did give some nice short opportunities today. Mentioned in the group, right? We had this nice triangle right here that broke down after just some relative weakness. This is one that we had as a swing short idea today too, going into today. Kind of giving that H cell setup type feel again, and got some nice follow through on that onto the downside. So good stuff there. And then of course your XPEV and all these names, right? I'm starting to get pretty crushed right here. They give a big move up, but again, not surprised. We've seen this before, right? We've seen it with the pot stocks, right? Tilray with its its A reversal, right? So you get that move right there. You can just kind of expect that with these type of names, right? And then Beyond, right? The Beyond Meat stuff, and then all your blockchain companies, all that stuff, right? The Chinese names when they first came out, right? Your IQ and your Huya and all those. So I mean, very, very. I mean, this rinse and repeat, right? They just love to do it. So it is what it is. But yeah, definitely looking at that pullback there, and that's definitely some news that could weigh on that for sure. And then JKS just kind of hanging in there. These solar names have just been generally viable on most dips, right? I mean, here's your dip right here, viable. Here's your dip right here, viable. So let's see how it holds if it comes back to these levels here. So good stuff. So Creighton, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in, man. So let's take a look at W-Day. Let's see what W-Day is doing right here. So yeah, W-Day is kind of hanging there. Decent candles the last couple days. A little bit of an upper shadow there today with some volume. So a little caution there. I mean, your big geo levels are basically this triangle right here. Right, where you see it's trying, and here's your bottom levels right here. So I'd like to see it try to break above those levels, but inside it, right at the lows, right, it gave a nice bounce off of those levels, which is nice. Nvidia again, we're still tracking this name here to see if we can get going. Well, I'd like to see some volumes coming in. And speaking of blockchain, you got Riot on there. So let's take a look at that one. See how that's doing here. Yeah, it's given some pretty big moves recently. Yeah, because this thing was like a $2 stock. Look, it's up to $10 already. Wild name right there, but some good stuff. Good one to keep on the radar for sure. See if it breaks over those levels. SI, hanging in there a little bit of kind of a doji candle on that one. SE, Yeah, still just chopping around in the middle of that megaphone area. AYX. Again, some software names. A lot of these, a bunch of this one reported recently, kind of down back in that congestion zone, right? We're just looking for a breakout out of that level down there. ESTC. Inside day, let's see if we can break out of those levels right here. It does look like it's working its way up. Possible harmonic move. Square, big inside day today off of that hammer, so kind of a nasty day there at the ADMA. Just nasty on that one. Neo, totally nasty. We looked at that one already, right, with the big down move right there. LI, kind of a bearish engulfing candle on the way down. Again, these Chinese electric vehicle names just kind of struggling there. AMKR. Wow, yeah, that one's just been plowing its way up, just holding that ADMA, right? So getting a little bit extended there with the upper shadow, but definitely giving some nice moves on that one. And then Zoom Info with a nasty bearish engulfing day today. True bearish engulfing, right? The whole candle engulfs the prior candle, and the real body engulfs the other candle here too. So keep an eye on that one. It did hold the ADMA, but pretty nasty on that one. I know. Yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate it, Blood Broker. We got it. Yasi, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, let's take a look at Run with the names on the solar names on the radar right here. So this could be working on a wave up, right? So here's your 1, 2, 3, 4. So see how it holds a 50-day in the bottom of the cloud right here. So, wave 4 has not intersected the beginning of wave 1. So this is a possibility. Let's see if it holds right here and maybe possibly working on a wave up here. And also could be a little harmonic move as well. So it might kind of chop sideways for a little bit, but look for it for a breakup. Make sure it doesn't break down below that 50-day moving average with any sort of volume. So good stuff there. Scott, what's going on? Good to see you. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Can we cover the difference between original and Shift and why to use them? I find the Shift can have more interactions when the original doesn't fit properly, but unsure if it's valid. I don't have a Shift on here. I don't believe so. That's definitely something. If you want to tweet me later, we can take a look at them and just and compare them. So happy to do that. So Creighton, I know. Yeah, we're back. Everything's good. So good stuff there. Nice, Scott. I appreciate it. Great stuff here. So awesome. So Creighton, is it fair to say that stocks will always stick to the geometric channel even when a stock drops like Zoom did today? It didn't break 400, which I believe is the bottom of the channel. It's fascinating. It really is. I mean, keep in mind, guys, that price can still do whatever it wants to. This gives us guidelines, right, to work at, and ideal for us traders. Sometimes we can trade directly off of those levels, right? But a lot of times we like to look for confirmation, at least something even on a lower time frame to show that it's trying to hold it. Right, and we'll talk a little bit later this week too to show some indicators that can help us see that these things are that they're getting ready to move, right, or getting ready to go off of those levels. But they do give us good insight into where these things are going, right? That combined with different chart pattern techniques, volume, things like that, can really help us for sure. So DA, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. Long time no see. So Costco looks extremely bullish. Yeah, Costco is always bullish. Forever bullish. It was like the most bullish they've ever. Yeah, but gave a nice push here today from the lows. Again, looking pretty good. Again, generally here's kind of an impulsive move up. Here's sort of an ABC move, kind of a 1-2-1-2 potential. So let's see if we can break over those highs right there. Maybe get a little bit of an earnings run on Costco. And SPY, kind of looking toppy, of course, right? Fresh all-time highs on it. But again, every time you go back to SPY, look at the SPX. It's it could be working on a fresh impulsive wave up, right? So here's your wave one. That was a big wave up right here. This wave one, right? 1, 2, 3. It could keep going if it wanted to. So we'll see how that goes right there. But good stuff. Good to see you. Blonde Broker, ARK bought Zoom and Shop today. I love it. Yeah. So they're pretty good. They're pretty good. So Seahawk Neo is pain. They shorted it, bought the dip, came out with legal issues, and then actually with an upgrade. I know all over the place today. So and a lot of times, don't forget Suyag. A lot of times these Goldman Sachs, a lot of these big companies, right? They'll put an upgrade out there so they can get out of it. And they're into those type of shenanigans. So don't think they weren't shorting it all day today and dumping their positions to help get that thing down. Put the upgrade out there, get some retail money. They're, oh, dude, I was really at the highs. Let's keep going on it, right? And they're just dumping into it, right? They need somebody to sell it to. Anyway, so let's take a look. So Nicola Gio, let's take a look. Nicola. All right, so Nicola, again, this has been on our short radar for days, right? Gave a push down right here. Now it's basically right back at these lows right here. So let's see how it holds on Nicola. Again, it could be pretty interesting right there. NCNO, right? So kind of work its way up there. A little bit of a green candle on that one, looking okay there. And then Coop could be pretty interesting too. A little bit of a maybe a CRM type play. So we got earnings coming up on that one. Vive earnings coming up too tonight, right? So it's actually down about like 10 points, isn't it? So let's take a look here and see. Yeah, so down a little bit here, but kind of in this prior range right here. So let's see if it holds as a reversal. So that could be interesting too. Definitely want to keep on the radar going into tomorrow. AMD again with a bit of a pause day today. So let's see if that actually turns into a true pause day instead of a reversal candle, and then we'll look for some relative strength in that one tomorrow. See if this thing can continue to plow its way up to all-time highs. The way the futures are looking, we'll see how it goes in the morning, right? PayPal again, a little bit of a spinning top right there as well, but gave us a nice push when we mentioned it yesterday. So good stuff there. So DA eyes and ears ripping face today. I love it. So good stuff. Too funny. The eyes and ears. I love it. Look at that. Woo! Big move on that one. No kidding. That's incredible. Good find on those. Eyes and ears wide open. You gotta love it. So why do the candles usually abide by the cloud? Because what the cloud is, Creighton, is all it is just a projection of prior moving averages forward, right? And the reason that it works, right, is because it's just general price action, right? So for instance here, right? So here, it's just all. When I think of the cloud, I think of it as a reminder that, hey, it's just a reminder of what happened in the past, right? So it's basically to say, like, take this moving average right here, project it forward, what is it, 26 candles or however they do it for the cloud, depending on what your configuration is, right? You see how the shape of this looks just like the shape of the cloud right here? That's all it is. So really all it is a reminder to be like, hey, if it's pulling back to the cloud, right, it's pulling back to prior buying pressure. Sometimes we forget that, right? Especially if there's nothing, if there's nothing on the chart and the moving average is just like, oh, it's going down, oh, it's going up. Well, the cloud's there to kind of show you that, hey, don't forget, guys, there's some buying pressure in this area. So if we get back to that area, there might be buying pressure again. That's why they work. And of course, then people program algos with it too that helps get things going too, and people like to trade off of it, right? So it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. But that's the point, right? It shows you that, hey, it reminds you there's buying pressure back there, and if you pull back to those buying pressure areas, you might get a bounce, right? That's the idea with it. So good stuff. James, TMO, currently reversing course and has some strong guidance. Let's take a look. Thermo Fisher, yeah, starting to reverse here a little bit. Yeah, could be kind of a tricky move, right? So a couple things it could be doing. It could be working on another shoulder too, right? So kind of a shoulder, head, shoulder. So a little bit of caution off of that one. But yeah, so it could be doing. So I like how it's over the 50-day moving, so that's always a good thing. And Reed, ES finally tagged the signal zone. I love it. Good stuff. Nice. DA, so TMUS looking bullish. Yeah, a couple of these telecom names have been looking pretty interesting here recently. There's some big put interest on AT&T, but T-Mobile's looking pretty good right here, guys. I mean, certainly, fresh all-time highs. Definitely been working its way up. Again, bullish still proven otherwise. Here's your macro trend line. Here's your bump line, right? So just kind of see how it holds there. If it continues to hold that, right, we'll stay bullish until proven otherwise on it. So looking pretty good. Nice stuff there. And then I wonder if TMO rejects here. It could be with that spinning top. We'll see how it goes. And then the SPD. Let's take a look. Inside day on that one, just kind of see how it holds those levels. And possible butterfly formation on SPX. Yeah. So, that's one of the things we've been looking at here on SPX. SPY, if you go to the weekly chart, we got this, right? So we got here. You're just going to go here, 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 right? Where is it going to end, right? So it's it's got room to go if it wants to, right? We can go to the 3.618 if it's doing a harmonic move, right? So all you do is you go to your extension right here, extend up to here, extend back down to here. So it's got room to get to 1.618, so 37, 67-ish area if it really wanted to, right? The 2.618 is the next one on a butterfly here, and if it wants to do a crab pattern, it can go all the way to 44.21, right? So just something to keep an eye on right here. But the 1.618 could be interesting, so we'll definitely want to keep an eye on there too. For sure. So good stuff. So Kyle, lost you. Where'd you go? SSTK. Let's take a look. All right, SSTK. Yeah, Shutterstock. Pretty interesting here. Tough candle. I'd like to say it was a breakout. I love the volume in it today, but just that upper shadow makes it really, really tough on Shutterstock. But nice find on that one. NNOX, Tracy. Let's take a look. Okay, so a nice gap up and a push right there. Again, here's your geometric breakout. Here's your double positive, and then it moved off of that. And now it's just like, what's it doing up here? I find a little trouble, right? So let's see if we can get over those highs and give us a strong candle to get above it. So good stuff there. Neo volume today literally shows perfectly 3 different parts of the trading day. They brought it down, went to lunch, came back, and brought it back down. I know exactly. W-Day sell-off after hours. Oh, along with CRM. Thanks for that, guys. Yeah, sometimes you guys mention them, and I'm like, oh yeah, this chart looks really bullish, and it's down like 50 points after hours. It's not down too much. It's just ticking down a little bit there after hours. So, but yeah, definitely software names could be affected by the CRM. So good stuff there. The NAST GME. Let's take a look. GMA gave a pretty good push right here. We got earnings coming up pretty soon, and then it gave this big reversal right here. So kind of keep an eye on it to the downside. Again, a little bit tricky going into earnings, but we do have that going on. Lemonade, who by the way does not make lemonade, and I think maybe somebody just discovered that today, and it's flushed back below the geometric line right here. So pretty nasty right there. But we'll see how it goes. This stock is a mess. I mean, it's kind of goofy, but yeah. So looking pretty bearish right there so far. Hey Samir, what's going on? Yeah, let's take a look at Lulu. Good to see you. Let's take it. Yeah, Lulu's still strong here, guys. Again, continue to work its way. I meant to put this on the bullish radar from last night. Y'all mentioned it last night. It was just super bullish, and it really just got some good follow through today. So great stuff there. Autodesk. Let's take a look. See if it'll pull up here for us. Yeah, it's hanging in there. Fresh highs, right? I mean, looking kind of like this, like a toppy cup and handle. So. See what it holds. Could be a possible hanging man. Just a little bit of caution off of that one there too. So and this also could be affected by the software names as well. So the next you got blue. Blue. Da ba dee ba ba da. So we got that going on. So blue. Okay. So again, nice little pop off of that one. So again, it's been struggling a lot recently. So I wish it had some volume to go along with it. So it could just be a little bit of squeezing going on that one there. VRTX. VRTX on an inside day, right between the 50 and the 8. So let's see how those go there. Fubo TV. Kind of a bit of a bearish engulfing candle on that one. Regeneron. Has it gotten to the bottom of the channel yet? Or is it already bouncing? Let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, a big upper shadow off the 80 MA. This thing could still project and move down here into the 480s. So let's see how it goes there for Regeneron before it starts to bounce. So we'll see how it goes there. So we got that going on. Michael, what's going on? Yeah, and all the focus names right for a shortage. You got to love it. Moderna, have a nice day, right? Exactly. DA, yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, smash the likes. We always appreciate that. Michael, so you got your NG. Yep. Kind of a big spinning top there right off the 80 man. That one. Workhorse. How'd that one do today with all the electric vehicle names? Inside day, it hung in there, right? So it's like, hey, we kind of make cars. F-Cell. Big inside day on that one. A little bit of caution off of that one there too. PLTR. Hanging in there with the inside day as well. And then the Qs with all-time highs, you got to love it. And then JMIA, epic long and an epic short, right? So we got that move too. AH is owning Workhorse. Let's take a look. It's down again after hours. Oh my goodness, yeah, I got crushed there. Wow, a lot of these after hours movers. Look at that. Whoa, just NAS shares. Well, delayed USPS mail. Oh yeah, I heard about that after hours on the. I heard that on the squawk later. So wow, yeah, Workhorse got crushed. Nice find on that one. Good stuff. And then F-Cell as well. Good stuff. And F-Cell. Great stuff. GME not following anything. It's Wall Street's best meme stock. Exactly. ZK, yeah, X has just been pretty epic too. That's one of James' favorites there too. And Fubo gapped up huge after hours. Nice. Yeah, X hanging in there too. Big push today, then a little bit of a pullback there after hours. And Fubo, I think I heard this one too. They have like some sort of deal after hours as well. What was their news? They bought. Yeah, well, okay, just things like to go opposite each other. So I think we were talking about that in the Discord, but I think there was some chatter about it earlier. But anyway, interesting stuff right there. So again, spending money and going up, you got to love it. So perfect for a gamble on that one. Chewy! Yeah, so let's take a look at Chewy. So again, great stuff right here. It's breaking out right here, kind of pulling back a little bit. So I mean, kind of a 1-2. Maybe it's working on a little 3-4 down here. And let's see how that holds on Chewy. But a great last couple days right there, up like 10%. Yeah, beautiful. FCL had an offering too. Nice stuff. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate it. DA FireEye. Seems like Consolidated prepping for a move up. FireEye is a tough name to trade. I mean, it's not really a big Momo name. I mean, it can move eventually, but it is getting tight in here. So again, just kind of watch your geometric levels here, see if you can get a breakout through there and where it goes from there. So good stuff. And then DBX. Yeah, right to the 50-day moving average, getting really tight. So you got tough. I mean, it is tough. I mean, it's trying to do something. It just needs some decent candles and some good volume on it, right? So we got that going on too. So good stuff. All right, Samir, yeah, and you got CRWD. Let's take a look. Yeah, nasty pullback there today. I'm going to look at it, make sure it's not like 200 points up after hours. Yeah, so we got that going on here. So a kind of rough pullback there to the 80 MA. So again, see if it breaks down below those lows. Might come back and test the cloud on that one. So good stuff, guys. All right. Well, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight and for your patience with the broadcaster issues. But we got through it, and I think we got through some good topics tonight too. So awesome questions tonight. Great chart requests, and really appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll catch everybody bright and early tomorrow morning on the Good Morning Market Prep video. So if you're new here, definitely be sure to subscribe on YouTube so you can see the videos that we post. Also check out our playlist too. Really, really good stuff there. So also whether you're new here or not, be sure to hit the like button. It goes a long way, and I really appreciate it even if you're watching the recording. So good stuff, guys. Yeah, don't even look at our hours. It's a possibility, but sometimes it can mean something. So good stuff there. I really appreciate it, James. Appreciate it, guys, for tuning in. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your evening, and we'll see you guys bright and early. Until then, stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game.